Welcome to our channel where we dive into the darkest and most mysterious tales from the depths of the unknown. Tonight we set sail on a journey into the heart of maritime horror, exploring the chilling stories of phantom sailors seen on forgotten fishing boats. These aren't just ghost stories, they're warnings whispered on the ocean breeze, tales of souls lost at sea and the vessels that became their eternal prisons. Turn off the lights, sit back, and prepare to be haunted. Our first tale takes us to the rugged coastline of insert location, where the wreck of the fishing vessel, the Mariner's Hope, rests half submerged, a skeletal reminder of a tragedy at sea. Local fishermen tell tales of a ghostly captain, a man they call Old Man Silas, who went down with his ship and now haunts its decaying remains. They say he can be seen on foggy nights, a spectral figure at the helm, his weathered hands gripping the wheel as if trying to steer his ship through the afterlife. Fishermen avoiding the wreck at night speak of an unnatural chill that falls over the area, a coldness that seeps into your bones no matter how many layers you wear. Some describe hearing the ghostly clang of a ship's bell echoing across the water, a mournful toll that seems to come from the very depths of the ocean itself. But the most unsettling detail of all is the feeling of being watched, a sensation that sends shivers down the spines of even the most hardened seafarers. One fisherman, a grizzled veteran named Jake, described his encounter with Old Man Silas. He was fishing alone one night, miles from the wreck, when a thick fog rolled in, blanketing the sea in an eerie silence. As he worked, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Then he saw it, a faint greenish glow emanating from the fog, slowly taking the shape of a ship. Terror gripped Jake's heart as the ghostly outline of the Mariner's Hope materialized before him, its sails billowing despite the lack of wind. He could just make out the figure of a man standing on the deck, his face obscured by the fog, but his cold, piercing eyes locked onto Jake's. It was Old Man Silas, his spectral form radiating an aura of sorrow and rage. Frozen in fear, Jake watched as the ghostly ship drifted closer, the sound of creaking wood and flapping sails breaking the silence. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the fog began to dissipate, and the spectral ship faded back into the mist, leaving Jake trembling on the deck of his own boat. He never fished alone at night again, forever haunted by the memory of Old Man Silas's ghostly gaze. Some say Old Man Silas is trapped, forever sailing the seas in search of something he lost in the depths. Others believe he's there to warn others of the dangers of the sea, a spectral guardian protecting those who heed his silent warnings. Whatever the truth, one thing remains certain. The legend of Old Man Silas and the Mariner's Hope serves as a chilling reminder that some journeys never truly end, even in death. Our next tale transports us to the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, where the fishing trawler the Lady Luck vanished without a trace, leaving behind a mystery that has haunted maritime communities for decades. The crew, a tight-knit group of seasoned fishermen, set sail one ordinary morning, never to return. Search parties scoured the area, but no wreckage was ever found, no distress signals were ever received, leaving families and friends grappling with the agonizing unknown. Years passed, and the Lady Luck faded into maritime legend, a ghost ship whispered about in hushed tones. Then the sightings began. Fishermen reported seeing the Lady Luck emerging from the fog, its nets cast wide, manned by a spectral crew going about their duties as if frozen in time. But these weren't the hearty, sun-weathered fishermen who once sailed on the Lady Luck. These were ghostly figures, their faces pale and drawn, their eyes hollow and filled with an unspeakable sadness. One chilling account comes from a young fisherman named Daniel, who encountered the Lady Luck on a moonless night. He was hauling in his nets when he noticed a strange light in the distance, a faint ethereal glow that seemed to dance on the horizon. As he steered his boat closer, the light grew stronger, revealing the unmistakable silhouette of the Lady Luck, its fishing lamps burning brightly despite being lost for years. Fear gnawed at Daniel's resolve, but curiosity compelled him closer. As he approached the vessel, he could hear the ghostly murmur of voices, the creak of ropes and the splash of water against the hull, the sounds of a working fishing boat. Then he saw them, the spectral crew of the Lady Luck, their translucent forms moving silently across the deck, their eyes fixed on the task at hand. One figure, presumably the captain, turned towards Daniel, his spectral gaze locking onto the young fisherman's with an intensity that sent shivers down his spine. Daniel felt a cold dread grip his heart, a sense of overwhelming despair and sorrow emanating from the ghostly crew. He knew in that moment that these were not malevolent spirits, but lost souls, forever bound to the vessel that had become their watery grave. Daniel turned his boat away, fleeing from the spectral trawler, the image of the lost crew forever etched into his memory. To this day, he refuses to speak of the encounter, haunted by the profound sadness he felt emanating from the ghostly figures. The Lady Luck continues to be spotted, a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of the sea and the mysteries that lie beneath its surface. Our final tale takes us to the storm-battered shores of insert location, where the wreckage of a fishing vessel known only as the Siren's Call lies rotting, a testament to the dangers of tempting fate on the open ocean. Local lore claims that the ship is cursed, its very timbers imbued with misfortune and tragedy, dooming anyone who dares to board it. The story goes that the Siren's Call was once a thriving fishing boat, captained by a greedy man named Captain Blackheart, who would stop at nothing for a bountiful catch. Legend has it that Captain Blackheart made a pact with a malevolent entity, sacrificing his crew to the sea in exchange for an endless supply of fish. The entity, they say, was a siren, her voice as alluring as it was deadly, promising riches and power in exchange for souls lost to the waves. Whether the stories hold any truth or not, one thing is certain. The Siren's Call has been plagued by misfortune since its maiden voyage. It's said that every crew that has set sail on the vessel has met with a gruesome end, lost to freak storms, strange illnesses, or simply vanishing without a trace. The ship became a derelict, shunned by even the most desperate of seafarers, left to rot on the coast, a haunting reminder of the price of greed. Those who dare to venture near the wreck speak of an oppressive atmosphere, a heavy silence broken only by the mournful cry of gulls and the crash of waves against the decaying hull. Some claim to hear faint whispers carried on the wind, the mournful pleas of the souls lost to the siren's song, forever bound to the cursed vessel. Others tell of seeing phantom lights emanating from the wreck at night, beckoning unsuspecting sailors closer to their doom. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of teenagers who, ignoring the warnings of the locals, decided to explore the wreck of the Siren's Call. They snuck onto the site at night, their laughter and bravado echoing eerily in the stillness. They climbed aboard the wreck, their footsteps heavy on the rotting deck, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, illuminating the decay and neglect. As they ventured deeper into the bowels of the ship, the air grew heavy, the silence broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the distant lapping of water against the hull. Then the whispers started. Faint at first, then growing louder, surrounding them, seeming to emanate from the very walls of the ship itself. The teenagers froze, their blood turning to ice as they realized the whispers were growing into mournful wails, their laughter replaced with screams of terror as they scrambled back towards the deck. They say the teenagers ran from the wreck, their faces pale with terror, claiming to have seen shadowy figures lurking in the darkness, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. One of the teenagers, a boy named Mark, was never the same. He refused to speak of what he had seen, haunted by nightmares of the Siren's call and the ghostly figures on the cursed ship. The wreck of the Siren's call remains on that desolate stretch of coastline, a chilling monument to the power of greed and the unforgiving nature of the sea. It stands as a warning to those who would tempt fate on the open ocean, a reminder that some bargains are best left unmade and some calls are best left unanswered. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey into the heart of maritime horror. We've explored the chilling tales of phantom sailors, cursed vessels, and the restless souls that haunt the depths. Remember, the sea holds many secrets, some best left undisturbed. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling tales from the darkest corners of the unknown. We'll be back soon with more stories to keep you up at night. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the unknown. You never know what lurks beneath the surface.